Okay, so 4:46 on the 5th, which is Thursday, which is Max's appointment. And it's kind of strange because it looks like, it would be affecting his brain, like it's sinking in or something, which I don't know if his brain is atrophying or if it's just the muscles, which I didn't know that there was so much muscle. I thought that there was more. The shape of his skull would be different because his shape of his skull is very much like weird. And but anyways, he's acting really like he's doing really good. He eats not that bad when I just give him meat. If I give him anything that's soft or mushy, he cannot swallow it. It's such a problem swallowing water too. It makes such a mess. But but I think even if I thicken the water, because when I give him stuff with soup or any of that kind of stuff, he can't. It turns into the biggest mess. I can't even believe it. And the only thing he can really swallow is things that are like harder. And anyways, so and if you remember, anybody who remembers, before I used to say he was every night was a sex show with him. And then he hadn't been doing that a long, ever since we moved here. He started back a couple days ago. He started back. And so I'm sure he must be feeling better. It looks very strange, but he seems to be feeling better. But one thing is when he was just going to town on I guess he likes blankets or dog bed. When he was, it used to be when there was toys around too, just whatever he could get, go to town on it. But but he did have to stop a few times. He was getting winded and started choking and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for him. But we'll go to the vet today and see what he says about the whole thing. And I'm sure he's not gonna have some really long. I don't know. Maybe man, I don't know at this point. It's just strange. I mean, basically, really, if the med bed thing is really close, it's just like you just got to make it to that, and then everything gets fixed. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But there was because I had said before that I said this a few years ago. I said that there would start being miracles and stuff. Crazy things were going to start happening. And there was one that I saw the other day, and it was a car, and somebody was driving it, and then they rolled it, and then it was all messed up, and then they got out and were just walking down the street and just leaving the scene. But it's like, oh my gosh, you're not even not even bothered nothing. And you're just walking down the street, carrying your stuff. So it wasn't like she was out of it or anything. She was just leaving the scene. I don't know whose car it was. I don't know what the hell. Must have been going fast because it was like on a residential road, and she just flipped the car and then it was upside down and kind of messed up, obviously. She's just walking down the street. So, but this one there was a kid who drowned, and so they took him to the hospital. They did the stuff trying to bring him back and stuff, and then they said, well, he's dead after a few hours. No, I think they said he was dead after however long they worked on him. I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. And then, so they put him, I would assume, I guess, in the morgue. And then a few hours later, I think it was like 5 hours after they said he was dead, that he started showing signs of life. So they took him and shipped him to another hospital. And so now it's seeming like he is fine. He's going to come out of it. He's going to be fine. So I don't know, because in the comments people are like, well, does he have a brain injury? Like, and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's going to be miracles. There's going to be miracles that are going to keep happening. to get people to start being like, whoa, what's going on here? How does that go? Because we assume, we go get in a car wreck, we flip the car and stuff, that we're going to get hurt. We assume if we drown and we've been dead a few hours that we're going to stay dead. So I think there's going to be more and more. Archie's decided he needs to. These dogs sometimes they are so on me all the time. It's just like, oh, dude. And last night I've been up since 12 or 12:30 or something. It seems like I was sleeping pretty good, and then I got woke up. But I don't know, guys. It seems like I was awake before that at one point, or that I kept waking up or something. Something seems weird about tonight. And the dogs have been very uncomfortable. Like, they already ate at 3 in the morning. So it's just weird. I don't know. The energy's weird. And when I was laying there trying to go back to sleep, and I couldn't. Every time I would just laying there trying to relax, and I start thinking about something. So then I start doing my grocery list, which one of my daughters is supposed to be coming. So this weekend, my brother and his wife and then their daughter are coming. And he's bringing his last load of his furniture and all that stuff. And then so they're all coming this weekend. They're driving. And then my daughter just messaged me, and she is really just, I don't know. So many people are just like strung out, burnt out, just over the top, you're just fed up. And so she messaged me, and she said she was going to come next week and visit. So she's supposed to be leaving Monday. So next week he's going to have all this company, all these people to hang out with. And I've been planning my grocery list a little different than when it's just me and the dogs. Which, you know what I've been doing? It is, I order off Amazon all the time. I got used to doing that when I lived rural before. Because when you run out of something, it's like, man, I'm just going to have Amazon bring it to me, because it costs more to go get gas and drive to town to get like a roll of paper towels or something. So I just started ordering stuff on Amazon. But I have Prime because I order so much. I want the free postage, even though it's come out that they charge you more for the product than when you pay the postage. I'm sure it all works out to the same. But anyways, I use Amazon all the time. I order stuff all the time. And I know some people hate it, and it probably isn't good for me to support that whole thing. But, I mean, I don't know. So anyways, we all have our lines. I support Amazon like the biggest corporate greed cow there is. But but I've even got worse, because I started noticing that they have food now, like the grocery store. And so I started ordering some food. I ordered because like I said, I needed to get some chicken, because he's eating so much chicken. And it's like I keep running out. And so then I was like, well, I'm going to look and see how much it is on Amazon. So I did, and it's like, which I swear to God, it says like it's not, no antibiotics and stuff like that. But when the food is huge, it's like, I don't know, if it's just a chicken, there's some scrawny chicken. The legs, nothing is big. And I saw a video the other day of them puffing things up. So they stick this thing and then just puff it up. I don't know what the hell. But so that could be why the dogs are sick too, because I give them chicken. Anything we eat, like everything in our environment is just like not good for us. That's all there is to it. So anyways, but you get these 5 big thighs with like $4.50. So I ordered 3. In the middle of the night, I ordered 4 more. I ordered the last 4 they had. So they got more packages of other things, but of other chicken things. But like they had another package of thighs, and this one is like 2 pounds, I think, and for $4.50. And it's like, dang, that seems like a good deal. And they bring it right to the house. And another thing that they do is they bring it in these cool sacks that are insulated. So I'm getting a stock up of these insulated sacks. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. It could be something. And they also, in order to keep them cold, they put in an ice. They use a water bottle, and then it's frozen ice, and then they stick, so you get all these waters. All these waters too. And I'm not even ordering those. I just get those for free. So anyways, it's pretty good. I've ordered a few more things too, like, because I've been ordering beans and rice and graham crackers and saltines and all that stuff. Well, now I've gotten some yogurt. That one thing I wasn't too, I got potatoes, carrots. One thing I wasn't all excited about, the cilantro. I'm going to use it, but it is, it looks like, okay, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it looks kind of sad, but I don't know, probably be fine. But anyways, yeah, Amazon's got all sorts of food stuff. So I've been ordering food, and it's like so I don't have to even go up there. Which sometimes even when I'm going to go, I'd rather just order the food and pick it up. But Monday, that's my big shopping day. So I'm going to go to Costco, which I'm glad it's a Monday, not a Saturday. And I'm going to go to Costco, and then I'm going to go to Winco. So I'm going to do a huge shopping day, which is, it takes so long because you got to go there. You got to go there to do all the shopping. Then you got to come back. Then you got to put the stuff away. It's like an all-day thing, I swear. But I only have to do it like once a month. So that's the good news. So anyways, oh yeah, and also yesterday, my algorithm is weird. Like, it's really being weird, where I don't know, everything just seems so manipulated right now. Like this Jim Carrey thing, oh my god, I cannot believe how much crazier and crazy this Jim Carrey thing is. It's so confusing. There was another person now with the wands, and so they were, the wands told them that, let me think, I'm pretty sure that they said he was dead. There's a lot of people saying he's dead. That he's dead. But this person who is playing him isn't someone in a mask, and it isn't someone who is a clone. It is a person who went and got surgery to look like him. And I was thinking, I bet you those wand things, like people, I bet you it picks up on what you think, what you believe. And because I had thought that before when I was using the pendulum thing. And I was thinking, if it just is reading what I think, and so, and then plus if there's an entity around that is trying to communicate with you and mislead you. So, anyways, but she also said Jim's dead. So there's quite a few people like, oh, he's dead. The one lady who's talking to him while he's dead. So anyways, I'm curious to see how this is all going to play out, because now Google has decided to start changing. So if you go on to, somebody told me this, and on my on TikTok in the middle of the night, I think they said something, and I don't know if it was the video where I had said he wouldn't get plastic surgery. I'm not sure if that was one. But they commented and they said, you got to go look at Google now or something. They changed his picture. Now they're putting in the new guy as him. And so I was like, what? So I went and looked. Yeah, I mean, they're really trying to drive it home. I mean, his manager, his team, the person putting on this César award and stuff like that, they're all saying, oh, it was him, it was him. It's like, okay, so different color eyes, different behavior. He looks like a different size. He's dressing different, acting different, but it's him. Don't trust yourself. Just trust them. And so I went and looked at the pictures. Oh, yeah, they've got so many pictures of the new Jim. It's like, that is so weird. It's like the weirdest thing. So they just, and one thing too is, so when you go on Google Images, that one thing is that they will put an older picture of him near the new picture that kind of where you could look at it and think like, if somebody 20 years from now could look at it and go, think it's the same person. But, those of us who are going through this presently as they're swapping these people out, then it's like, no. Even I saw Christina Applegate talking, and she looks so different. And I guess she has like autoimmune or something, but man, she looked different. And but she's talking about domestic violence and how it's so isolating and stuff, and she wants to be supportive and help other women, and she feels lonely and she wants to talk to other people about it and stuff like that. So anyways, she's like out for a good cause. But the Jim Carrey one, where they're putting these pictures that, I don't know, you just gotta look at it. It's weird looking. And what's weird about it is that when the new Demi Moore had come out, and it was, I swear to God, it was like a year ago when the new of her came out, and she could have several. I mean, she could have had new ones coming out before that, and that name of that movie was just like trying to swirl by for a second, But so when I saw the new one of her come out, like a year ago or whatever, I went on to Google Pictures, and I was like, man, something just doesn't look right. That just doesn't look like her. Something looks weird. So I went to look at old pictures. Well, they had put in all new, they had put all, and it was almost like they took her pictures and then kind of did some AI transformation and kind of tweaked her or something. It's very strange. And so, yeah, they are doing something. I'm not really sure what the hell is going on or why. And I still don't know, what the deal is with him. If he's doing this, if he's a part of this, or if this really all happened to him. And because he spoke out against the Hollywood thing. The thing is about, though, Cappy saying, he was like, join the queue thing. And to Cappy, and the brackets, I was thinking the brackets, what I would guess must be the people who would be in the brackets. So, like, the people who we think of as being the people that are the evil people. So, I don't know. It's weird, but I would still think, like, that this is some kind of a psyop, some kind of a show, some kind of a showstopper, something to bring it home. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I don't know. There's lots of people saying he's dead. So but on my algorithm thing, which is kind of strange, is yesterday I was seeing this one guy. I like him, and I used to see his videos, but yesterday I was like one after another, and I hadn't seen him in a while. So it was a bunch of videos that I hadn't seen. But one of them, he said, and he's always talking about these new studies and stuff that are out. And so I'll tell you a couple of them. So one of them was water. So if you get a glass of water and you tell it to pull toxins out of your body, to heal you while you're sleeping, and blah, 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 blah. Like, talk to the water and tell it what you want, and then put it next to your bed while you're sleeping, that it will not only make the water start changing and look different and stuff, but people are getting up and feeling better, and it seems to be working. So I tried it last night, and I forgot to look at it yet. So I'll look at it and I'll tell you tomorrow what it looked like. But anyways, it was like, well, may as well try it. Another one was these people who, they took their blood and then they put it in tubes, and then they were introducing something into it. And so in this study, and I'm not really sure, like, so the people would come, if this was a part of the study or if it happened by accident that they figured it out. But so if the people watched like a horror movie, then their blood would not be able to fight against bacteria. If they watched something that was happy, then it would make their this other part, this side of their the good blood cells would come out and fight the bacteria. And so it was really showing that what you watch has an effect on your immune system. Which another video I saw, and this wasn't this guy, this was another person, and they were talking about, so there was this group of train worker people, and they were working on a refrigerator car. And so they're all in there working, and which I don't know how, I mean, you'd think everybody would see everybody, but so they all leave and leave one guy inside. And so he's in there, and then he realizes everybody's gone but him, so he goes to try and leave, but it's shut and he can't get out. So it's like latched and he can't get out. So he starts freaking out because he's in the refrigerator truck and or cart, whatever it's called. And so container. And so he's freaking out, and then he dies. So they come in the morning and they find him, and he's dead. And he so on the wall he had written that like a communication. So he had written like colder, I'm dying, and all stuff like that. So I'm freezing to death. So he had basically written the whole thing out, what was happening to him, on the wall as it's occurring throughout the night. So everybody's like, what in the hell? Because the refrigerator car was broken. It didn't ever go above 50 degrees or below 50 degrees or 55 degrees. So it wasn't working. So it was all in his mind. He thought he was freezing to death, and so he did. So it's your mind really has so much control over you. I was just talking about this with my brother. I've talked about it so many times, but I was just talking about it again the other day about when people get certain diagnoses and they think, well, it's a death sentence. So to them, it is a death sentence, and then they will kill themselves off because they believe it's a death sentence. So therefore, they're going to die, and then they do. Because your brain, what you tell yourself, becomes your reality. And so it's important not to play into their programs and believe the stuff that they've told you, because they know that about you and they use it against you. So they know if they tell you and you believe it, then you will make it happen. And so it's that's a part of, breaking free from their programs and breaking free from their narrative, or however you want to look at it. But it is important, and then to realize, I think the more you realize too, like you're eternal and nothing can hurt you and you can heal yourself, which on my tooth thing, like, I just spend several times a day taking I got the what are those things called, the thing that sprays the water, and then I put a bunch of peroxide in it, and then throughout the day I just keep going in and spraying it and then swishing it around. So I think it's getting better. It could have something in it right now, I don't know. That's the thing that's tricky, is because it gets something in it and then I can't tell. Because it was still looking gray, actually. It was still looking like grayish. But I was thinking, well, I'd have to go back and look at when it originally happened. But it seems like it was a big, huge break thing, because it was a whole silver filling. They wanted to go in and remove it, and that's what was putting me off. Was I didn't want them to go in and remove it. I had them do that before, and it hurt. That was really horrible. And so it's like, man, I don't want to do that. And then they kept saying, well, we need to do it. You got this little cavity, And they'd be like, well, that cavity's getting bigger. Well, then the cavity, I guess, went around and knocked the filling out, broke my tooth. So it still is healing. Because that's the thing, is that now there's a whole bunch of, like, especially in Japan, they're saying your teeth grow back, you can heal your teeth and all that. So that's what I've been trying to do, but it's not as easy. Like, I thought it was going to be a lot quicker and easier. It is kind of a really slow process so far. I don't know if that's partly because we're so toxin filled or stressed out or whatever. Because that's the thing too, is to keep you stressed out is going to keep you sick. It's going to keep you in high cortisol and keep you not having a good immune system. Because their whole plan is to keep you sick, which there was a whole group that had to go before Congress. I guess it was Congress. So it was a whole group of them, insurance people. So this is kind of weird. So, we all have, they force us basically to have health insurance. And even if you don't, they make the price of things so ridiculous that you become bankrupt if you have a medical issue. And then they keep people sick and tired all the time. So, I'm getting another thing coming through my head right now, so hold on. Because it's about graduation and why you have a black cube on your head. It has to do with Saturn. It has to do with, man, the girl, that video was good. All the stuff that they use, and it's all about the putting us into the position of the slave thing in work and stuff. But it was really good because she was saying all the words and the words they use, and we look at them in one way, but then when you think about what they mean. So anyways, but this insurance thing, so they're before Congress, and they so it's for health insurance. So then they have a group of them sitting in front of the little speaker thing. So then the person's asking them the questions. So then they said, do all of you, or no, raise your hand if you have, I can't remember exactly how the questions went down, but they kept being, raise your hand if you have this, raise your hand if you have that. But what it comes down to, what it boils down to, is that the insurance companies own the corporations where we get our services. They own the corporation. They own all of the pharmacists. It's all a big thing. It's all one thing. And so it is, and that is a crime against us. So these are big things because it is, it's what's that called when you are in control, like, of the like, you can't go outside of that and get something else. They create this thing, these parameters where we're kind of stuck, and then they can keep raising the prices. But the manipulation in how they do with what you can get at the hospital, what they'll pay, how much they're charging, how much the medicine is, how much each of these things are, is being set by it's all like one thing. It is so manipulative. So anyways, that's being exposed right now, which I mean, it was crazy when you would hear him explaining, because it is such a it's such a corner on the market. Like, they control it, and that doesn't give any opportunity for free business, or for us to be like, well, I'm going to start an insurance company or a pharmacy or whatever, because it's all controlled by these entities, these big corporations. So yeah, they own all this stuff. And then, I mean, what a scam, man. They own the insurance, the doctors, the it's just the craziest thing. So, anyways, that's being exposed, and that's a crime. So that the whole medical thing though is going to totally fall apart, especially when people start seeing that they have more mind over matter. They can control things with their mind. They can heal, and it just people are caught up in, like, they make you feel bad. They get you somehow sick about something, and then you feel defeated. You go to them for solutions, and so instead of going towards yourself and healing yourself, you just stay spinning in their weird system. So once we start realizing, like, oh, well, we can heal ourselves, and we can, for one thing, take better care of ourselves. That's one thing, because they have so many people who are just not taking care of themselves. I mean, geez. Yeah, I mean, when you really think about it, that's really kind of weird, because we have so many people who just don't take care of themselves. And like this woman, I just saw this video, and she's exposing this guy. I don't even know if it's the one that I was talking about a couple weeks ago. So this woman's exposing some spiritual person. I think it was a different person the other day that was talking about somebody who had ripped them off or done something. I don't even remember. There's so much scams out there in the spiritual world. But this one, so this girl, she really liked this guy. She thought he was like this really connected spiritual person. And she had gone to some of his retreats and stuff. And you think about some of the money these people are making. And this was what was kind of strange to me, too. So she said that this one night, she goes to this retreat. And this is the night she started figuring out, like, something's up with this guy. Is, they go do their retreat thing. And then he says, well, let's go out and get a drink or something. And she said that they went out to get a drink. And she didn't drink as much, because she said, well, I'm a girl and I got to be more careful. But he got blackout drunk. So he was wasted. So this is your spiritual guru guy? And he's like, hey, guys, let's go out. Get wasted. He gets blackout drunk. Then he goes back. They go back to the house, and he's puking. And then he wants to order food. So he tells her to use his phone and order food. And so she's going to get the food, and she said she heard really, she went out on the in the elevator, and she heard really loud in her head, or she thought it was a person standing there, and said, look in the phone. So she looked in the phone in his messages, and she saw he had been talking about her. And it wasn't in any kind of spiritual sense. It was more in kind of like disrespectful. But the way it made it sound was like, he was just going to have sex with her, use her, or whatever. And so she said all of a sudden she saw this totally different side of him. And she said it was really hard to wrap her mind around. The next morning she confronted him, and he started going off on this whole thing. Well, it's your karma. This is important. This needs to come up, and all this weird stuff. So she kept buying into his nonsense for a while. But then eventually she started seeing more women start coming forward. And then she started seeing that he is a phony, and he's like trying to be some cult leader or something. So you gotta watch out for some of these people. Like, they are I saw this girl doing this video yesterday. It was really good too, because she was talking about that when she wants to do things that are different, so when she wants to do things to change, to become her better version of herself, she said that her old version would keep pulling back and telling her it's not safe, And so she started saying that she named that version of herself. So she started calling that version of herself Lucy. And so every time there would be something, like she said, she'd want to post about something, she'd want to talk about something, that Lucy would start saying, no, you're going to make a fool out of yourself, don't do that, and really try and hold her back. And so she had to really start confronting this side of herself. And so it was a part of like naming it and stuff. So she started being more confronting it, and then she started being more like telling this side of herself, like, no, I'll be fine. And she starts seeing that side of herself was really trying to protect her from old pain and suffering. So she was trying to hold her back. But the whole thing is that's your ego. Your ego's job is to protect you. And so your ego will keep telling you, like, it's not safe, don't do that. And that's why this whole thing where a lot of people call it the dark night, they think it's the killing off their ego or something. It's really just to get management over your ego, because otherwise your ego is driving you. And so you got to take over the wheel and push the ego to the side and make the ego the passenger, and you take over the wheel. And you have to do that through your intuition and your trusting yourself and building that stuff up, the parts of yourself that were more depleted or more smaller. I can't think of the word, but the smaller parts, because through your wounding, and so you were more damaged. So then when you're ready to step out and become your full version of yourself, then the wounds will keep coming in, and it will use the wounds against you. And so it will keep trying to keep you contained and maintained so that you don't get hurt again. So it's not like your ego is trying to damage you. But then when an ego is going too far, that's where you see some of these egomania and stuff. So your ego is very important to get in balance, because it will hold you back or it will make you kooky. And but that's where we have in our society right now, we have so much out of balance with the ego, because some people are like imprisoned by their ego, and other people are just waving their ego in everybody's face. So it's we have that's the great divide. It's always the two sides, but we have the very ego driven and then the very repressed. So a lot of people hold themselves back out of fear, and then other people just think that they are better than other people, and it's all ego. It's the ego drive. And so that is a big part of humanity, of what it is, and it's so clear. You just got to try and if you have to name it, whatever. But to start noticing, what is your ego doing? What are you doing? Who's at the wheel? Who's controlling who in this situation? And you got to start getting yourself in more control, in better balance, and not being driven by your fears of failure, and not being driven by your biases of, you're better than everybody. Everybody's a stupid idiot because you are, however you feed your storyline. And so right now, we're seeing a huge amount of storyline being fed by who you vote for, who you vote, and who thinks who's a pedo. Like, oh well, you voted for a pedo. It's like, you guys, boy, you're really skipping over parts of those files, aren't you? So yeah, it's crazy. Well, speaking of the file thing, so somebody was asking, and it's all at different levels. So when you are seeing, if you're watching Hillary and Bill and stuff, and then you're somebody who is like, well, they were offed a while ago. And so then watching it is, it's surreal. It's odd. The whole thing is just weird. And then, so you're like looking at the people like, as they're, how much do they really look like them and stuff. Like, you're looking at it through different eyes. But some people are, think it's really the people. And so they are going through a different experience. And so and a lot of people are getting very upset, over some of the stuff they're saying, especially it's just, right after the files, then all of a sudden they're coming out and saying this stuff. And so, So it's frustrating to a lot of people, and they're getting angry, and then so you see a lot of people like they're perjuring themselves and stuff like that, and which they're bringing that other guy who can come in and so there probably will be people who are going to come in and prove that they were lying. It's going to be like that is going to be drawn out, man. But anyways, but somebody was just asking their chat GPT, is this real? Is this thing real that's happening with them? And the chat GPT thing was saying no, that it's not. And he was given all these specific things like at points she's talking but her mouth's not moving, or like there's weird things about the blinking. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of weird stuff. So, I don't know. I mean, this world that we are existing in at this point is so full of artificial. It's just so fake and phony and weird. And so, yeah, I don't know. The biggest thing to me is just don't get yourself all caught up in it where it matters. Is when it matters too much, then it eats you up. You gotta just keep being like, okay, this is just part of the process to get us to the good place. Like, we just gotta go through this so we can get to where we want to go. And the biggest thing, what I'm always saying is about the pulling free. Like, you gotta pull yourself free from the chains that bind you, what's holding you back, your ego, and then they know how to feed into your ego. They know how to manipulate it and stuff. But you have so many people who they look at half the people as idiots and their biases and stuff, and so then they won't listen to anybody, and they're just all ego driven. They're so ego driven that they think, well, if you voted for so and so, then you have no worth to me, you have no value, I can't listen to what you say. Which also there's people down at the what are those things called, that they keep doing here because save Iran, so don't help them, let their regime, the what you call it, what are those people, Islamic Republic, let them have them, let them kill them all. So if those people don't realize, I mean, they may even stop people in the streets, and they think that that is that they're better for women's rights. It's like, have you noticed what the people had to wear? Did you notice like they would off them if they didn't wear it right and stuff? Like, you think they were better for women's rights? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, but that's the ego drive out of ignorance. Like, they don't have any clue what's going on, but they think they do. So yeah, that's better for the women over there than Donald is. It's like, it's so nutty. So anyways, the protests, that's what they're called. So it just so happens that all the protests, that they all have matching signs and stuff. But somebody got video showing of them. Man, I keep getting these weird waves of like this weird, like, it's like this wave comes in and then it just like sucks everything out. Like, I feel weird again. Like, this keeps happening where it almost feels like feel faint or something. Something feels really weird to me. Like a blood sugar drop or something, I guess. Oh no, I feel weird. So anyways, which now kind of makes me feel nauseous. If I were to die out of this reality, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going to the good place now. But so people go into the protest things and being like outraged because it's obvious that they're paid to do this, and so just more people out there proving that. And they were coming off of a like a big truck thing, and they had all of their signs all perfectly matching, all like they went down to the Kinko's or something and got them all made for everybody. And we're getting them off the truck and stacking them over next to a building. It's like, and then they keep trying to say like this is organic, like this is just all happening organically. It's like, well, it seems kind of set up. And then where was that? There was some place in Florida maybe where the Tifa has shown up, and they're out there. And then there was a weird thing that was happening right now in Utah, like in Clarks County, Utah or something. So they told all the people, go in your homes, shut the door, try and be in your house with another person. Try not to be alone in your house. And close your doors and don't come out. Don't call 911 to ask questions. Only if you have evidence or if you have information. Which I keep having weird things too, where it feels like things are moving and shaking. God, things are being weird. So they're saying, and they're closing school. So they've closed the school down. School isn't even starting for a few more hours. So they're closing the school down. They're looking for somebody in a white Subaru or something with some license plate number. And so there's, word on the street, but nobody knows for sure that this, whoever it is, has gone and killed, somebody. And they're like, they don't know how many people. They don't know if it's in a bunch of different houses. They don't know what's going on. But it was like, man, that is extreme. So tell everybody in the city, go in your home, don't come out. Try and be in your house with somebody else. Don't call 911 unless you have real information. And we're doing the best we can to remedy the situation. But schools are all closed. Nobody's coming out. Don't come out of your house. Don't do anything. It's like, that is weird. That seems really extreme. So, I don't know, man. Who knows? Who knows if something big's going to happen there today? I don't know. That's just weird. And, at any point in time, some big stuff can be happening. Because they've already, said that the sleeper cells are up and at them. So they're going to be wreaking havoc. And then people still go out to go to the bars to go drink and stuff. It's like, where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go straight up there. I mean, it's easy pickings. And they've been doing it over the last couple of days, showing up at places and just popping off. And, because, I don't know, it seems obvious to me, but just so many people just don't pay any attention, just don't think anything about it. And then there's people who are getting really mad about people saying the Epstein, they're trying to it's weird because everything is two sides. So you have some people saying they're trying to distract you from the files. Then you have other people saying that they're using the files to distract you. So it's like all over the place. But some people are getting very upset about this whole distracting narrative because we are in a WW3 at this point. And so there is, that's what we all need to be focused on is, what's going to happen. And so anyways, but to me, what's going to happen is we're going to be liberated and we're going to go to Nisera Gosera, and then we're going to have med beds, we're going to have new technologies, but in the interim, we're going to have to learn a lot about the lies, the world that we've been living in, and really our compliancy is what created the world, because we never would stand up to them. We never, just in the same case of the Jim Carrey thing, when they just, shut up, this is really him. And so many people do. And then they start bullying the other people who are saying, no way, that's not him. They're like, shut up, it is him, you stupid ass. And so it's our compliancy and our willingness to police one another, to contain and control, that keeps us confined in this confinement of enslavement and what would that be, like in a world of lies, in a world where the truth is whatever they tell us it is. And so we just play along. And so the more that we listen to our instincts and listen to our gut and find our balance, because you got to get yourself in balance, and the more that causes their system to break apart, to fall apart, because we're not playing along. We're the glue that holds it together, and they need us to keep it going. And as soon as we start saying, no, it's not working, we don't want this, then it keeps falling apart and falling apart. And then we have so many people, who are questioning, like, why am I going to work? Why do I spend all my life, trying to buy a house that I don't even get to be in because I got to be at work all the time? And because, they sell us this whole concept of what is success and how do we get there and what do we do? And it's all been a facade. Is that's one thing that, for generations, that everybody was trying to follow the path to success, that then it got to a point in the path where it's not working. It's not working for everybody. How is, if this is true, if this is real, why isn't it just work over the board, over for everybody? Why is it only, and then plus, even to, we're very contained. Like, we can't just go and compete with corporations. We can't just start our own businesses. We can't help each other out. It's like we're very much the product of our environment, the slave of the system. And so the more that becomes uncomfortable for people, the more that they question things, the more they don't want to just keep doing what they're doing, and the more that they want to figure out, like, what am I here for? What am I here to do? Am I just here to work? Why am I here? It's the questions of life. And it's the questions of life is what it is that creates change. So it's important to question things and to wonder and ask. But that's one reason also why they want to keep you too busy, so you don't have time to question it. Just go, hurry up, get to work, you're late. Get to the next thing, you're late. Get to the doctor appointment, you're late. Everything is just keep you running. And then they even to the point where they create commotion in our travels. Is that because they control and contain us? So they create control. They create traffic jams and stuff, just to create more chaos, just to create more tension, just to create more people being late, more people in a hurry, and then they put police out on droves to, try and catch the people who are trying to rush too fast because they are stressed out, because they've got to get to the next thing, because they're running late, everybody's running late, and you're not allowed to run too fast or they're going to come and get you. And so it's just a very stressful containment world that they created, like you're so much, you're just running on the hamster wheel, but you got to keep the pace that they tell you to keep. And then they police us, and they cause so much tension and create so much havoc with people who want to control others. They don't want people to go outside of the box. They want to keep everybody inside the prison. And so it's it's just chaotic. But that's the part where we're going through now, is so much chaos, because so many people have just reached the point of being so fed up, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit, say what you want, judge me, I don't care. I saw this is kind of a sad video yesterday, was this woman and her dog, and she was on the side of the road, and she's got all her stuff on the side of the road, and her RV is in front of her, and they pull up a tow truck and they take her RV, and apparently they had told her that she had to move it or they were going to tow it away, and she said it's broken, that she's got to get it fixed, but they wouldn't give her any time to do it. So she had to get her stuff out of it, and they just took it. It was sad because the dog was like barking, and then somebody walks up to her and starts talking to her and asking her, and she said, yeah, it was like, if they just would have given me a little bit longer, I would have had it out of here, but they wouldn't. And so but that's the hostile environment that we're in, which also I saw a thing in Arizona that of course it'll have to be someplace that's warm a lot of the time, but that they have got big places of land where all sorts of people are coming with tents and campers and everything, and they're just building new communities. And that's what I always thought would have been the solution. Why are we staying in the cities and trying to get their resources, head out to other places and start going in and creating communities with other people in the same situation and help one another and build up? And so, and it's safer, you know. I mean, this poor homeless lady now, she's on the side of the road with her stuff. Her stuff's going to be still like, it's just some bullshit, man. And she wasn't even homeless. She had a home. She had an RV. And a lot of people are opting into the RV lifestyle, and that is their home ownership kind of situation, and then just took it. Can't park here for more than however long, and they just took her home away from her. And it's like, how do we get to the point of letting these people just control us like that, of being able to come and do that? Like, that's where we need to come together, and they're trying to take somebody's home. We need to come together and get a tow truck to tow them to somebody's driveway and help them out. Like, we need to be more helpful to one another, more there for each other. That's the that's the true enemy of theirs, is when we come together and help one another. They've just got us so much at odds with one another that we aren't. We're not. And the weird thing is, too, is a lot of people, are put off by that kind of thing. But putting that energy out brings that energy back to you. So you put out good energy comes back to you. So it's very productive as a spirit, as a soul in this world. But they want to keep everybody in the very three-dimensional thinking and not helping one another. And every man's out for himself, and then when somebody is down on their luck, they have no worth, and it's just, man, the more that we come together, though, the bigger problem we are for them. And so that's the way to go. That's the revolution, is us to all start coming together, is building community, coming together in love and assistance, trying to help one another, do what we can to help, so that they because that creates like a wall for them. They can't get over it. They can't, because everything that they do is through manipulation. They manipulate information, they manipulate our minds, and they focus so much on mind control and to cut us off from our own instincts and stuff like that. But that's where, at this point in time, even when they're doing things so obvious, like bringing in this new character, and then they tell you to not trust your senses, to believe what they tell you, and which, you gotta, it's way better to tune up your senses and to trust your own instincts and your own senses than it is to trust anything they say, especially at this point. I mean, for God's sakes, they've lied about every single thing of our whole existence. I just saw a place, if it's a national park or something like that, and it is giant mushrooms, ginormous mushrooms, and they're like petrified. So it's like you're walking through this rock petrified place, but it looks like giant mushrooms, because things used to be so huge, and people are constantly now, like that, those people who are into that kind of thing, they're constantly finding like mountains and stuff of where you can tell that's not a mountain, that's a giant that laid down, and when they were killing them, and you can see how they're sprawled out. Like, people are finding the most craziest things, and you go up and you start looking, and you can see like hands. There's petrified dragons, there's all sorts of petrified animals, petrified giants, which these giants aren't just like 12 feet tall. I mean, these giants are like, 400 feet tall. Like, they're huge. And, I mean, they can lay down and become a mountain range. But that is also kind of it's like the earth in its own cycle, kind of like composting. So kind of like you put in the food, and then it mixes with the dirt, and then it becomes organic matter, and then it goes through, and then it grows into something else. And so it's just this constant cycling of realities and the beings that were in the realities. Although a lot of people think that this one we're ending, that's a big narrative going around again, that the world's going to end and we're all going to blow up or something. And so if that's how what's going to be, you got to remember though that you're eternal. You don't have to die in this sense, of like, well, I need to go start over or something. You can stay going as yourself. That's the ascension, is staying you. So I don't know how it's all gonna play out, because I saw another one. I think this person had an NDE, and they said that they were shown that this was gonna all start happening, and that this division was gonna occur, and that the people who stayed positive and were more connected to the earth were going to stay going on the earth and create this new world. But the people who were more negative oriented, and they were going to keep falling away and falling away and falling away. And so it's going to just, weed itself out, and just where you are in alignment with the positive energy, then you stay. But if you can't pull yourself into that, then you just go to another place. And I would say that a lot of those people aren't at the same conscious level. So it's not like that they would have an awareness of like, because once you have the awareness, that's where you're like, well, I don't have to die. I'm not going to die. I may leave this reality. I may go to another one, but I don't have to, die and go start over. But a lot of these people who stay in the negative, who haven't become conscious of themselves like that, then they would just go back and then just recycle back through, and then just come in as a new character. And that doesn't mean you won't recognize them. You wouldn't know them once you see them again. You would still know them, and they would still know you. But in a conscious level of a creator or a slave, then they would still maintain the more enslaved persona, rather than the more liberated creator. And because that's what we're doing at this point in time, is liberating our souls, becoming our true creator. You need to go outside? God, I'm really surrounded too. So, hold on. Okay, Archie, you gotta move. I can't. I gotta move a little. Okay, hold on. Here. Okay, got back up, girl. Are you going? Are you going? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to be going, but anyways, but you can see what I'm saying is about, it's up to you. It's up to you to, I guess, not want to just fit in, not want to be just like everybody else, and to be able to be strong in your own independent view of the experience. Okay, now Ruthie wants out. So that is the whole thing about, becoming sovereign, becoming independent, is becoming, I mean, the way to do it is to start believing in yourself, trusting your own instincts, and questioning things. Question these people. Don't just fall in line. Like, don't just be like, okay, well, they said it's really Jim. It's like, well, sure didn't seem like it to me. So I'm just going to stick with what I believe. I don't believe that that was him. No, I don't care how many people tell me, oh, yeah, it is. His manager said so. Like, I mean, and then they, sell the story like if that's really his daughter and his grandchild, which supposedly has more than that. But if that's really them, or if those were other people that were looking like the other people, like, I don't even know at this point. It's just like such chaos. And anyways, so, but you gotta, go with what you believe. And I don't know, when you're just being told what to believe, question yourself. Like, why do I believe this? I swear to God, everything is about question yourself. And I swear to God, that's what the Q stood for the whole time, was ask questions, question yourself, question everything. And that's what it's all about, because that's where you start getting answers. You start looking at things and understanding things differently. You got to question everything. Question yourself on everything. Question why you're doing this. What am I doing that for? What am I trying to get? What am I trying to, what is my point here? And so, but throughout all of the points that you want to make is trying to figure out who you are through all this. And trying to figure out who you are in the process, you got to let go of parts of yourself, and you got to accept parts of yourself. You got to learn to love parts of yourself. And it's so important for us all to come together. You got to learn to love people, even people who you don't agree with. You just accept it. It's like, we don't all have to agree. We don't all have to see things the same and be the same. Like, what world, what generic world are they trying to sell us on, that we all need to be the same? Think the same, look the same, be the same? It's like creepy town, man. Like, be individual, be unique, be you. And then learn to love yourself. Learn to love everybody else who's doing the same thing. And learn how to maneuver through all of this information. And it is important, too, because you can't ignore the dark. You have to battle the dark. You have to see it and be aware of it. You can't just pretend it doesn't exist. So the learning how to maneuver through it and control your emotions and your state of consciousness throughout all of this stuff, that's what it's all happening for, as far as I can understand. As far as I can see, that's what all this stuff is happening, is so that we can become true to ourselves. We can become ourselves. We can figure ourselves out, and become the best versions of ourselves, because the world needs it. The earth, and the new earth, needs some beings there that is going to be caring for it. So, and we're going to be around other beings too. So there'll be, it'll be a new world, a new way of existing. So it should turn out really good. But we'll see how it all plays out. So anyways, and we'll see what they bring us today. I know that I'm going to hopefully take a nap, and then I'm going to take a shower and go to the vet. But anyways, we'll see what they're bringing to us. My algorithm's weird, and it's not really showing a lot. But I did see the thing about the insurance thing. I was like, what in the world? Because, I knew it was a scam, but geez, man, the scams are out of control. So anyways, but we'll see what more comes today, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.